Expensive or not, people love the Samsung Note phones. Samsung knows this and decided, well, it's about time we got more of this experience into more hands. Welcome, the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Lite. This is a gorgeous device. Having used this device for a few days now, one wonders why Samsung never thought of this back when they were working on the Note 10 Plus and the Note 10. This is a perfect Note for those on a budget, coming with all the features that the Note 10 Plus has except for a different build material, water resistance, a Quad HD screen, and a flagship processor. The Galaxy Note 10 Lite is a pretty compelling device. Now, aside all of this, the Galaxy Note 10 Lite, in my opinion, checks all of the boxes for a smartphone that's somewhere between premium mid-range and flagship. This is a pretty device and comes with an impressive specification, including a 6.7-inch 1080p Full HD Plus Super AMOLED screen with a 32 megapixel punch hole selfie camera. It's got 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigabytes of internal storage, which is expandable to 1 terabyte using an SD card. We've also got the 10 nanometer Samsung Exynos 9810 processor, and it's all powered by a hefty 4500 mAh battery, which also supports fast charging at 25 watts. To complete the specifications, we've got an in-display fingerprint reader. There's the S Pen, which is what makes this a Note, and at the back we have a triple camera setup. The main wide-angle lens is 12 megapixel as on the Note 10, but with an aperture of f2.2, missing out on the Note 10's dual aperture that transitions from f1.5 to f2.4 dependent on the lighting situation. There's a 12 megapixel telephoto camera, which is the same resolution as the Note 10's, and there's also an ultra-wide camera here, which is also 12 megapixel, rather than the 16 megapixel on the Note 10 and Note 10 Plus. For ports and button placements, these have been moved around a bit, so there's no button on the left side of this device as we had on the Note 10 and Note 10 Plus. There's the volume rocker and the reassignable button on the right of the device. This reassignable button can be used as a power button, or you can assign it to manage some Bixby functions. There's the 3.5mm headphone port. A USB-C port, speaker grills, and the S Pen bay can all be found at the bottom of the device. I absolutely love the feeling hand of the Note 10 Lite. Now, although it seems a bit slippery and you can't overcome the need for you to want to use a case on this phone, luckily I also got the Samsung cover case, and it absolutely makes the Note 10 Lite a business class smartphone. This case has also got some functionalities to it, allowing you to see notifications, play, pause, and skip music, and also pick calls right from the cover of that case. Now, the Note 10 Lite is made from a combination of glass, aluminum, and a material on the back of the device that Samsung calls Glastic, which is basically plastic but with some elements of glass, so it's a bit scratch resistant while being drop resistant as well. After using this device for a few days, I love how slender and how tall this device is, making that 6.7-inch screen a beauty for consuming media. But how good is the screen anyway? Well, it's just as good as what you have on the Galaxy A71, but not as bright and not as sharp as what you have on the Note 10 Plus. I put it side by side with the Note 10 Plus, and straight up I could tell that the Note 10 Plus was much brighter and sharper. But man, the picture quality on this thing and the color on this screen are beautiful. Videos look good, and there's enough for your eyes to feed on. Now, let's face it, Samsung builds absolutely beautiful devices. Aside from the Note 10 Lite, I've had hands-on time with the A51 and the A71, and they're absolutely lovely devices. Design, build materials, and those screens are incredibly impressive. The Note 10 sports a single firing speaker at the bottom of the phone. It's loud, very clear, and I didn't get any distortions even when at the highest volumes. Now, like any other down-firing speaker, when holding the phone in landscape mode to watch a video, there's the possibility of muffling the sounds. You get very high quality audio via the 3.5mm audio port or via the USB-C port. Now, in my day-to-day use of the Note 10 Lite, I found myself using this phone more and more. Man, performance on this device was smooth and every task I threw at it was handled like a champ. Now, despite having a year-old chip, which was the same used in the Note 9, this device still performs like a champ. Apps open in the jiffy. You should have absolutely no problems with gaming on this device. This processor, the Exynos 9810, is still very capable and should offer you no heartbreaks. However, I really wished that the Note 10 Lite came with a Snapdragon 855 found in the S10 Lite. I guess we can never truly be satisfied. Notwithstanding, this phone should be able to handle any task you throw at it, and you should be generally happy with your purchase. Battery life here is incredible. You've got a 4500 mAh battery, and no kidding around, this is a freaking almost 2-day battery life. I couldn't kill this thing no matter what I did. You should know, however, that battery life is always dependent on usage. But the standby time on this phone is stellar. Now, I left the device on use between 12 midnight and 12 noon, and it went from 38% battery life to 34%. That's 4% lost in 12 hours of standby. Absolutely outstanding. And with the included 25-watt fast charger, you should be able to get your phone from 0 to 100% in just about an hour of charging. Let's talk about the S Pen. The bundled stylus, or as most of you out there call it, the S Pen, is definitely a huge reason Samsung made this phone. It's an integral part of the Note experience, and Samsung has ported all of that from the Note 10 Plus and the Note 10 into the Note 10 Lite. You can jot your thoughts and then convert your handwritten notes into readable text that you can copy, paste, and share with your friends. You can also play and pause music with the S Pen, take a photo, scroll through your photos, and more, all without having to touch your phone. Although I really don't think anyone would want to do this, but it's there if you want to feel like a magician with a wand. The Bluetooth enabled S Pen has 4096 pressure levels and is as precise and as smooth as pulling pen to paper. You need to try this out for yourself to know how good this works. You can take screen off notes, and what this means is that while the phone is off, you can just pull out the pen and start writing on the screen, and that's just absolutely one of the best features about this device. The S Pen here is the thing just works, man. The Note 10 Lite sports a 32 megapixel selfie camera and a triple rear camera setup consisting of 3 12 megapixel main wide angle telephoto and ultra wide angle lenses. These are basically the same cameras from the Note 10 Plus, so results on both of these devices are on par. You've got optical image stabilization on the main and telephoto lenses, and the ultra wide lens has a field view of 123 degrees. All the features from the Note 10 and Note 10 Plus cameras is here, and you'd be very happy with the photos from this phone. Video recording is capped at 4K 60 frames per second and only has stabilization when you're recording in 1080p. Now, Samsung isn't portraying the Note 10 Lite as a cut down mid-tier option. This is a value flagship, and it doesn't make too critical compromises to hit its price point, and Samsung really wants you to see this phone that way. With the Note 10 Lite, Samsung wants a bite at the not flagship but better than mid-range segment of the market, and this phone competes with the likes of the OnePlus 7T, Xiaomi's Mi flagships, and the Redmi K20 Pros. At 183,300 Naira, which is approximately $510, some obvious concessions have been made to hit this price point. Now, the plastic back, the flat display, and an older generation processor. But for most users, that year-old flagship chipset isn't going to matter at all. The user experience on this phone, that S Pen, and the overall functionalities of this phone makes it totally worth it. According to a recent study by KPMG, it was seen that over 55% of buyers would remain loyal to a preferred brand even if it was more expensive than a rival product. So what do you think of the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Lite? Is it the perfect midway between an affordable phone and a full-blown flagship experience? And does it offer up enough to make you stay away from the likes of the OnePlus and Xiaomi smartphones? Well, leave me a comment in the comment section and let's discuss this. If you like this video, you know what to do. Smash like now and hit the subscribe button. Also hit the bell icon to be notified when I put up new posts. Thanks for watching. and I'll see you in my next video.
1, 2, 3, go!
Peace.